morning you guys, it's Karen, and yes, I'm here in a jumper. It is May in Scotland and it is freezing. I was out for a couple of walks at the weekend and we all had hats and gloves and scarves on. It is absolutely freezing here, so it's nothing like, I don't know if it's even considered summer in May, is it? I don't know. It's not spring either. It's very, very cold. Anyway, I'm here to talk about this, the Alpha Lipoic Acid 5% from The Ordinary. I have used this only a couple of times, so this is not, as with all of my other videos, I start off doing a video giving you a first impressions review of the product, but what this video is giving you information about it, what it can perhaps do for you, what research it is, how much it is, what the ingredients are like, that kind of thing. And I may use it, and if I do use it for a specific concern, I'll then do an update video. And I know that towards the end of this week, I need to do some update videos for you on azelaic acid, salicylic acid. So there'll be a few update videos coming. So what is alpha lipoic acid? Well, it's sometimes referred to as lipoic acid, so I'll call it that from now on, or ALA. And it is a coenzyme. It's an antioxidant, and it's found in food such as spinach or broccoli. It's found in meat as well, so it is found in animals. It's actually synthesized in humans and animals, but more recently it's been used topically because for the most part alpha lipoic acid has been a supplement that people take, and it's got a very, very well recognized and well researched effects as a supplement. But in recent years, people like Dr. Perricone, I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of his skincare line. Dr. Perricone brought it out as an ingredient in skincare. It is thought to be an anti-inflammatory, an anti-wrinkle, so an anti-aging serum, if you like, anti-wrinkle, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, and also an exfoliant. So it is supposed to help with the regeneration of skin and to take off that horrible dead layer and make your skin brighter. On top of that, Dr. Perricone in his products, or in an article he has written on, now what was the website? Oh, Dr. Oz. On the Dr. Oz blog, Dr. Perricone has actually written an article about alpha lipoic acid, and he also claims that it's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant and exfoliant, but he also says that it can work on pores, that it works on under eye bags and under eye circles. So he's pretty much claiming this to be a wonder product. The problem here is that there are very few studies. There are just one or two studies that I can see. I've looked at a couple of studies I could see and I can't see any more. There may be other small studies out there. And what I believe is that the studies have been done by Dr. Perricone, and so that would make them, there would be a conflict of interest. That's something that I remember in the hospital when we were looking at things. You had to make sure that the right person was leading the research study to make sure that the results were completely open and transparent and could not even be perceived to have a conflict of interest. That would mean if there was any drug that, say the investigator had shares in the company that gave the drug that they were researching, they couldn't lead that study. But with Dr. Perricone there is a conflict of interest, and like I said, even that aside, they're only very, very small studies. The studies, however, have shown really positive results. They have shown a 50% efficacy, if you like, on wrinkles and scar reduction. But there is no studies on the other side of things, the other claims on the anti-inflammatory, on the pores, on under eye circles, bags, all of that. But it has shown in these small studies that there is some effect on wrinkles and on scar tissue. Again, though, with these studies, they were done with a 5%, this is a 5%, and they were done using a 5% twice a day. This is only recommended to be used at night 2 to 3 times a week. So you would never be using this in anywhere near the same dosage that they did in the study where they achieved that result on wrinkles and scar tissue. You'll be using it a third of that amount. I would say that's about a third, isn't it? Yeah, if you use it 3 times a week as opposed to every day and twice a day, it's about a third. So you might get a 10% effect on your wrinkles if you're taking that study as your example. The only people I can see that do an alpha lipoic as a one ingredient product is this one from The Ordinary. Dr. Perricone has products that have alpha lipoic acid in it, but they don't do a concentrated one such as this one. This has lipoic acid and one other ingredient that is just to help with penetration, and it's absolutely fine. It is known that this can cause sensitivity. It can cause issues on the skin, which can be tingling and burning, but the irritation is thought to be less with this than with retinol, retinoids, and hydroxy acids. There's thought if you use it correctly, there's less chance of getting irritation with this than with those other things. I think that that's a difficult claim to make, because I know from reading all of the comments on the retinol products from The Ordinary, the retinoid products from The Ordinary, the acids, we all react very differently, and whereby some people have reacted terribly to the retinol. I'm one of them. My neck was a mess when I was on holiday. Other people haven't had any reaction to it at all. The retinoid, I don't have any reaction to it at all. Other people have had peeling from it. Some people don't like the azelaic acid, their skin has gone dry and flaky. I have absolutely no problem with that. So I think that you can't categorically say this is less irritating than retinol, retinoid or acids. I think that it depends on your skin, but you need to be aware that there is the chance of sensitivity. This is a 5% alpha lipoic acid, and it is £5.90, I think, £5.80, something like that, £5.90. So it's a really good price and really good ingredients. There's no pH in this because it's a water-free formula, so pH doesn't apply. You have to use this at night because it is very susceptible to degradation by light. So it even explains that you shouldn't go near a window after you've put this on. So if you put this on while it's still light outside, don't go out into the garden, don't go and stand by a window. That's how unstable, if you like, this is. So definitely one to be putting on last thing at night, and that you should use 2 to 3 drops about 2 to 3 times weekly. There's no smell to it that I can sense. I cannot smell anything. I cannot smell anything on the skin. The only thing I would say is when I inhale it there, I can feel it. It's really hard to explain this, but I've got really bad hay fever at the moment, and you know when you can feel like itching in your nose, it's almost as if there's smoke in the air or something. I can definitely tell something is bothering inside of my nose and my eyes when I try and inhale it, but I can't smell anything. That could be the allergies, I suppose. I asked my husband to smell it last night after reading some reviews online to see what he thought. He said it smelled like Tipex, which I told him was showing his age, especially since it was his birthday yesterday. I can't smell that. When I've read descriptions and reviews, people say it smells like petrol. I definitely don't get the petrol smell at all from it. But it's known apparently to have a sulfur smell, and I don't get that from it either. But just to be aware that you might get this product and not like the scent. Some people will be really bothered by it, because I know that there is, like with the rose hip, you know, I can smell fish, many people can't smell anything at all. So you put 2 to 3 drops on, and it is known to have a slight warming sensation, and I'll talk about how I've found it in a moment and show you what it looks like. But I've had a look at the reviews online, and there are, if you look on Sephora at the Dr. Perricone products that have alpha lipoic acid in it, they've got very, very good reviews, like amazing reviews. People are saying it's turned their skin around, their skin feels amazing. Even one person said that she no longer feels the need to wear foundation, and actually that's something that Dr. Perricone has said about it, that it's so good that you won't need to wear foundation. So I think that's a really big claim to make, but that is what one of the reviewers on Sephora also said. However, looking on, I think it was Makeup Alley, there are a lot of really bad reviews where people have had a terrible reaction to it. And so I really want you guys to be aware of that that's not something, I can't tell you how you're going to react to it. So be very, very careful when you use it, and be aware that it will certainly tingle a little bit, maybe even feel warming. But if it's burning or itching, then it's probably going to cause a bad reaction and you should take it off. Okay, so like I said, I've only used it a couple of times. I did use it yesterday afternoon again, just to remind myself what it felt like. And it is a serum. You can see that it's a liquid more than a serum actually. And it looks and feels oily when it's going on, but that disappears very, very quickly. So, you know, don't let that put you off. It's not going to be an oily, greasy film on your face. It doesn't feel at all like you've put oil on. If anything, it feels like a dry oil that instantly absorbs. You can see there, that's it gone. So it quickly changes from being oily to being, it's not tacky at all. It doesn't leave a matte finish. It's just you can feel you've put something on your skin. I really like the feeling of it on my skin. I put it kind of all around this area, and I think I put some on my chin as well. It was in the period where I was just kind of ordering lots from the ordinary and just cherry picking things to try, so it wasn't the best way of doing it, and I knew that I would definitely try them all once or twice, and then I would go back to things that I wanted to give a proper trial, but I liked the way it felt on my face, and it did feel warming. I remember that I got sort of red patches here that looked like I'd put blusher on, but it wasn't burning and it wasn't stinging, it wasn't sore, it just felt warming, and so I liked that feeling. What I did get though a couple of days later is a patch of very sore, very tender skin here where I had put it, and I'm pretty sure it's from the alpha lipoic acid, but it could have been the fact that I was combining it with other acids, not combining it as in using it exactly at the same time, but that was a time that I was using those type of things on my skin, retinols and AHAs, that kind of thing. But yeah, there was just this one little patch here that was red, and it actually even had a very slight scab on it, and so I think my skin did react to this, and so I will, if I start using it again, be very, very careful. And I'd really like to give this a good try, but I'm just not sure yet what I could test this on. Before I go on there about my kind of final thoughts on this, I would say if you are using any AHAs, BHAs, etc., I would say don't use this. This would need to be instead of either your acids or your retinoids, and definitely on an opposite night. So if you were going to use this, you could use it on a night you weren't using acids and retinoids. I wouldn't recommend mixing this with any of those other products. It's not one that you need to wait before applying this or wait before putting your moisturiser on afterwards or anything like that, but I just think that because there's such a chance of irritation, that you should do it where you're only putting this product on your skin, and even better if you're not using, I think you could probably work two of them into your routine, so maybe an AHA and this, or a BHA and this, or a retinol and this, or a retinoid and this, but not too many of those products. I think will just irritate your skin and make it not have a good outcome for your skin. Okay, so I was saying there that I don't know, I want to use this again because like I said, I liked the feeling on my skin. My skin felt very, very soft, I noticed after using it, and I liked that warming sensation, but it's been proven to work on scars, so I guess I could try it here. I've got some red marks. It also, it talks about being good for red marks and brightening the skin. It literally lists practically everything if you read Dr. Perricone's review. But the research shows that his research shows that it's good on wrinkles and scar, goodness me, what's wrong with me? Scar tissue. But remember I said that was using a 5% twice a day, and it's definitely not recommended to use this twice a day. Apart from anything, you'd need to be in a dark room all day. So the most you could use it is once a day, and it's not recommended to use it once a day because it can cause irritation. And so, like I said, at 2 to 3 times a week, I don't think you're going to see a massive effect on wrinkles, etc. I'd prefer to be using my retinol and things that I know, a retinoid, and things that have been proven to be an anti-wrinkle. But I may well slot this in before I start on what will probably be my, not permanent, but long-term skincare plan, which will involve differin, which is a type of retinoid. I may be able to do maybe a month using this all over my face, a couple of times a week, taking some photos, seeing what it does. I mean, if it could work on the wrinkles on my neck, that would be fantastic. So it's maybe something to test out in that way. But again, my neck is very, very sensitive. That's where the retinol, you know, did its worst, if you like. It's also listed as being okay for sensitive skin, but I would disagree. I would say that be extremely careful if you have sensitive skin, but I wouldn't recommend this to you just because of the lack of research. I think we need more research on this particular product, and you'd be better taking a supplement because that will still have benefits for your skin. Who do I think should use this? I think if you don't get on with any of the AHA, BHAs, or don't want to use them for whatever reason, and you don't get on with or don't want to use retinol and retinoids, but you want something that is anti-aging in your routine, then I think that this would be one to try. But like I said, those other things have greater research behind them and are around the same price point, and I don't see any benefits to using this, but it would do no harm, I think, as long as you were very, very careful on where you slotted it in and how you used it. That's all there is to tell you about that product, but it would be really interesting to know how you guys have gotten on with it so far. How many of you have tried this? I don't think it's one of their more popular items. How many of you have tried it? What have you thought? How have you got on with it? Have you reacted badly, or have you seen a massive change in your skincare for the good, as those people on Sephora have done? I actually think it's one of those products that I would recommend buying within a cream that has other products in it to help it be more stable. Something that's maybe got some antioxidants in it might help its stability, and also at a lower concentration, may not be so irritating. But yeah, let us know what your experience has been. Let me tell you what I've got on. I have got on my Lancome Idole Ultra Foundation in 010. I've used a Makeup Geek eyeshadow. No, I haven't. Makeup Forever eyeshadow in ME. Oh, I thought I was going to remember, but I can't. I looked at it and was like, ME, maybe 740. I'll put it in the description anyway. Makeup Forever eyeshadow. Urban Decay blush in Rapture, Kat Von D liquid lipstick in Bow and Arrow. That's everything. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will speak to you again soon.